everyone. I got a confession to make. So, because I do a lot of stuff outside the house, full-time job and everything, I tend to sometimes forget things. And I know it's bad, but it happens. So I started a project just to see how it goes with fermenting tomatoes, or tomatoes, depending on how you say it. And it was going good. And then I forgot about them. So it's been about a month and a half, actually. And I went back and I looked where I had them at, and oops, let me show you. This was sugar daddies that I was fermenting. I have to go put them inside the compost heap now, because if you can't tell, they're going bad. If I can open it. Smells delicious. Doesn't smell bad. But there's one thing when you're fermenting, you don't want the fruit or the vegetable that you have touching the air. And somewhere on the bottom of this thing is my puck. So when it fell and they started fermenting, my puck just gave way. So now I got this wonderful bacteria, white mold, growing on my tomatoes. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I did know when these were starting to ferment, they were delicious. And I will redo this recipe. And it was quite simple. And hopefully this time I don't mess up. As you can see, this one is still good. This one I believe is better off. Because the puck is the same size as the jar, and because these were whole tomatoes. These were the strawberries. So, woo! I got juice over me. Oh my gosh, it smells like kombucha. Oh my boy. It almost smells like, what is it? It's like Buddha, what is it? It smells like Buddha kombucha, but I can't figure out which flavoring. So let me see. So this is the puck that we use to hold down the fruit. And there's my fruit. It is good. Isn't it good? What I'm going to do, because one, I opened it already, put this in the fridge, and two, eat it. This one turned out perfect. But I think it turned out perfect because I used the whole tomatoes. So it took longer for it to penetrate the skin. I'm not putting this back in. And that's just due to the fact that it still has bacteria on it. I got one good jar. Actually, I got 3 good jars. I just brought out one. This one right here, I'm going to join the yellow. And that's because I don't trust it. I can't tell if that little white right there is bacteria or is it salt sediment, because I fermented with salt. So these 2 boys, especially this one, is going into the compost bin. fermenting. Water moves. Air pressure. Bubble. Think pickles. Ooh. Doesn't have the kombucha smell. My puck. But I'm not going to try these because I don't trust that white. I don't know if you can see it or not. That little white that's on it. I don't know if it's good or bad. Smells okay, but I'm not testing it when it comes to bacteria. Fermenting is supposed to be good for you. It helps with your gut digestion. But I'm not going to put my life on the line. Especially when it's something I made. And I know it could be iffy. As much as I do some fermenting. But I'm a busy girl. I have a job. And I'm a foster mom, so I have 2 kids with me right now. I forget. And I do love fermenting because of it's healthy for your gut and it tastes is wonderful. But that's just me. I'm a kimchi lover and I love the taste of that fermented taste. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a bubbly. You bite into something and you have that little pop of air because it's so good. You have like it's just so delicious. I can't explain it to you, but to me it's wonderful. But I messed up. I left it too long. You leave it too long. You can try it, but I'm not going to. It's my life. So I'm gonna go put these in the compost so it can help out the compost. But I just wanted to show you guys. I messed up. I messed up big time on this one. And these were good. They were really good. But I messed up. I left it too long. I let the bacterial culture get going and start colonating. And oops, it happens. But like any homesteader or any gardener, anybody who cooks for themselves or learning to cook or learning a new trade, you mess up. And I'm going to show you. This is my mistake. I let it go too long and I got some nice white cultures of bacteria going. And if I was doing kombucha, it wouldn't have been a problem. I'm not. And I don't want to. I like drinking it. I like going to get Buddha, or any kombucha, but mainly Buddha, and drinking it. I don't want to make it. Especially for gut healthy. But I just wanted to show you. I made a mistake. And maybe I can show you how I fix it. Or try again. It really doesn't smell bad. For something that's gone bad, it smells really good. Alright, let me see if I can go over to the compost heap. Take this one. Take this one. And I still gotta find the puck and the sugar daddies. I don't know where they're at. If you can't see, the sun is setting. And it is Texas, so it's hot, and the cicadas are singing the little hearts out. And there is the compost heaps. It looks like somebody has been getting into the compost. I got watermelon everywhere. All right. Bye-bye. All right, in this one I gotta find the puck. It's somewhere in there. I just don't know where. Ah, there it is. Okay, now it's starting to smell it. Come on. inside, clean these off, clean off this puck, and we're gonna try again. I got enough tomatoes to try again. And that's the only thing you can do, is try again. And hopefully I don't make a mistake. I'll get tomato juice on my shirt. Okay, take 2. So I'm going to show you how I did it, and hopefully this time it's going to go perfectly. I am still using the yellow sugar babies because I love the way they tasted, and I wish they didn't go bad. So this time I'm using a smaller jar, and hopefully it works better. So already inside of it is garlic. I like my garlic. And then I'm going to do salt. I'm going to put half a tablespoon of salt first, and then half a tablespoon of salt after I'm done filling it in, because I want the salt to, even though the salt's going to incorporate, I just feel better it's my way. So got the salt, and we got the water. Okay, so I put the salt in, and I got myself some water so I can put my tomatoes in. And that's basically what it is. It's just salt and water for the fermenting process. It's simple, but a lot of people don't do it because it's scary. Now with the smaller tomatoes, I put them in whole. But again, these sugars are way too big. So I'm going to cut them in halves this time. What I figured is by cutting them down and opening them up, you get more surface area for it to ferment. So you really don't have to leave it for fermenting as long. They usually say 2 to 3 weeks. And because I am opening these sucker up and sticking them in here, I'm guessing it's going to be more at the 2 week, 2.5 week mark. They will be ready. And they're ready when you feel that they are, the taste. When you have the taste that you like. Once you get that taste, you put it in the refrigerator, and it lasts for a good 6 to 8 months, depending on how long it takes you to eat them. But like I was saying outside, it's good gut bacteria. It helps keep everything moving on the inside. Now I'm getting to the point where I need to make sure everything stays submerged. And that's one of the keys and the reason why you use a puck, because you want everything to stay submerged. Because when the fruit is above, touches air, it doesn't no good because it's adding bacteria that it really doesn't need. Let me try the small ones. And I am just going to fit and squeeze as many as these beautiful suckers I can. Okay. Ooh, I might need to put this on the... I'm making a mess if you can't tell. So I'm just pushing and squeezing these tomatoes in there. One, because these tomatoes, they will shrink. They won't be as firm. So I want to try to get as many tomatoes as I can in. And 2, I want as many tomatoes as I can get in there. Okay. So, I got it filled, and I'm going to leave it some headspace. That headspace is because as the fermenting process starts, it's going to bubble. The air is going to escape from the fruit because you got the salt activating and turning it into a salty solution like a brine. Well, it is a brine. And it's going to fermentate or soften up the meat, and it's going to get all inside of it and pickleize it. That's the reason why I put the garlic inside of this container, is because I like garlic. And it tasted really well, and it smelled good too. So hopefully it does well. So now I got a clean glass puck. And I'm going to push it in there. Because I want to keep the fruit submerged and I want it to stay submerged. So I think I got too much water on this thing, so I'm going to see if I can remove some of it. You want water, but you don't want that much, because it's going to bubble. So I still have, as you can see, I still got the fruit submerged under the water. Then I got the puck on top, and I got some airspace. This airspace is going to get smaller and smaller as it starts fermenting, because it's going to start releasing and bubble. And as the air releases, you're going to need, there we go, that's perfect. It smells good. You're going to, if you're doing it where it's just a cap and a lid, you screw it on there loose. And then every day you unscrew it, pop the lid to release the air, and then screw it back on there, again loose. Or you can have a burper. For us, we use the silicone style. Well, it replaces the lid. Stay. So you put it on there. And that's it. So every day, what you would do is, as it starts fermenting, this is going to start pushing up, because it needs to release. It'll start pushing up. The nipple will start going up and up because it has air in it. What you would do is just gently push it down until you have an indentation, or until you push it down to where you're comfortable. And again, you're going to do it every day. For me, I'll check this one out at the 2-week mark. Maybe not even then, maybe the 1.5-week mark, because these are cut open, so that has more surface space for the liquid to penetrate. So it's not going to take as long. And I think that was my problem the first time. 1, it was a bigger container. And 2, they were in quarters and not halves. And 3, I left it there for way too long. And I'm sad. I left it there for way too long. But hopefully these beautiful sugar pit babies will survive longer than the other ones did. And I can actually eat them. The whole ones, instead of just taking 1 or 2 for taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in on the counter, but I'm going to put it inside the laundry room. And I'm going to leave it there and check on it every day until I feel comfortable where I can open it up, taste it, and it tastes the way I want it to taste. And then it pops in the fridge. We want the healthy bacteria that we can get from the farm. And if it's growing healthy bacteria for free, it'll be good. It's not as good as a kombucha, but it's still good and it works. And my tummy will be very, very happy for it. For that beautiful sourness with the little bubbles from the air popping, because it's kind of like a pickly deliciousness. Alright, so I gotta clean up my mess and figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of these beautiful tomatoes. Now we are getting ready we are in the mid of our season. We're about the 90-day mark of our summer season. So we're still producing a lot of tomatoes. Definitely a lot of tomatoes. But we're not producing big tomatoes. All the tomatoes we're getting are strawberries in medium sizes. And that's because we're dealing with the heat, the Texas heat, and to deal with that, we are losing a lot of plants. We already lost 2 squash plants. Zucchini's still doing well. The watermelons are taking off like they own the whole garden. But we're starting to get to that transition where we're starting to pull and weed out the dead plants and get ready for fall. But until then, we're still getting a lot of our summers and our winter squashes to come in as long as we can get them. And growing tomatoes as long as we can grow them, because we do love tomatoes. Maybe a little too much, but we do love our tomatoes. What else? And like I said, the watermelon are starting to take off. We planted those a little too late. The corn is taller than me and starting to get some ears on it. And the okra's growing crazy. That is delicious. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna go put this on a counter and pray that I don't forget about this beautiful subject of deliciousness. And subscribe. Help a girl out. Especially somebody who's learning and not afraid to say she makes mistakes. Because we all do. And that's the reason why I started this, because oops, I made a mistake. And at least I can learn from it and somebody else can learn from it. And don't give me about the mistakes going in that garden. I'll tell you about that later. So subscribe to Little Blue Homestead. This is Tasha. Stay safe. I'll see you out there.